Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Study with Buddy, and today in this video tutorial I am going to cover the next topics of our YouTube channel, that is in the uppermost topic, that is the under atmosphere. I am going to cover the layers of atmosphere, that is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere with exosphere, and there is also one layer known as ionosphere that we will cover in the further studies. And in this video I will try that you will get the appropriate study material, and you can also focus on my voice as well as the image that I will get to you, and relate that image and get the exact point. Okay, so let's start. So as you can see, there are 6 layers approximately: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and in thermosphere ionosphere and exosphere. But ionosphere we really do not count it, but then also if we are to count 1 2 3 4 5 6, okay, and I think you got this point. So first, so these are all the layers of atmosphere, and where different categories of things it that layer contains, or gives a defense towards it, or we, and in further studies we will also know that the main characteristics of that layers. Okay, so first is troposphere. Troposphere, this is the lowermost layer of the atmosphere. Okay, I think you can see here that near the ground, or it is this layer contains about means it is just above the ground, and this layer contains about 3/4 of the total molecular mass of the atmosphere. Okay, and practically the entire water vapor, I think you all can see, as it is just above the ground, all the kind of water vapor and all particulate matter and most of the carbon dioxide are contained in this part, because here human beings live. So we will inhale and exhale processes, respiration of human beings will take place, and hence they will inhale oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, and hence carbon dioxide will be automatically a more one. Okay, so most of the weather phenomena also are in fact confined to the troposphere, and temperature in this layer falls at rate of 1 degree Celsius per 165 kilometers, that is 6.4 degrees Celsius per kilometer. I think you can make the full estimate. Okay, as it is with increasing height. Okay, so you can imagine from the ground to the level of Mount Everest, it is the temperature falls, okay, that is towards the 6.4 degrees Celsius per kilometer, and this fall in temperature is known as the normal lapse rate. I think you can understand that the temperature in this layer troposphere is falls at a rate of 1 degrees per Celsius per 165 meters, that is 6.4 degrees Celsius per kilometers with increasing height, and this fall in temperature is called the normal lapse rate. And that is why the oxygen rate also decreases and oxygen becomes thinner and thinner. That is why many of the means far from the topic, I can say, is when many of the mountaineers carry oxygen cylinders with them. Okay, because this rate in temperature falls also, and then oxygen also means decreases as we increasing height. Okay, and coming back to the topic, the height of the upper limit of the troposphere is about 18 kilometer at the equator and about 8 kilometer at the poles, and the upper limit of troposphere is called the tropopause. I think here you can see near beneath means sorry, not beneath, above the troposphere, this blue colored line, you can see there is a tropopause. Okay, so I think you can see here the approximate range of the troposphere. Okay, beyond the 50 kilometers means just 50 to or you can say 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers, it is the range only, means of troposphere. Not troposphere means all that gases till stratosphere. Okay, and at this means at the tropopause, the boundary, the at this boundary, the fall in temperature with increasing height stops at the troposphere. Tropopause means this extreme blue color line which we can see here under the ozone layer. it is here the fall in temperature decreases, means sorry, fall in temperature with increasing height stops, not decreases, increasing height stops. Okay. And here I think you all can see all the type of, means it is located in earth surroundings only, means very troposphere, which means very attached to the ground, is just above the ground. All you can see here, the volcanoes, the small hills, mountains, clouds, even aeroplanes or helicopters fly in the troposphere. Okay. And then I think you all get to this topic. Then one most important question, if you will get in the exam, by the exam point of view, what are the characteristics of troposphere? Troposphere between 0 and about 15 kilometers is the first layer above the earth's surface and contains approximately 85 to 95% of the 90% of the earth's atmosphere. It is characterized by decreasing temperature with increasing altitude. Okay, and I think you get this point. Okay. And then these are some of the main characteristics. We live here. I think this is means a very common but obvious characteristic, that is where weather occurs and contains all of the mass of the atmosphere. As altitude increases, temperature decreases. I think this also you get upon. And tropo means turning or changing. Okay, here the means the temperature may be here also change. Okay, varying and all these capacity take place, varying capacity temperatures there, and 0 to 12 kilometers from the earth's surface. Okay, then coming to the next layer, that is the that layer that extends upon the or above the tropopause, that is the stratosphere. The most important characteristic of this layer is the uniformity in the horizontal distribution of temperature. Means the distribution of temperature above the layer, in between the layer, anywhere in the layer is uniform. Here the temperature remains the same across, means across the stratosphere the temperature remains the same. Uniformity in the horizontal distribution of temperature. Horizontal, I think you get it. Horizontal distribution of temperature. Okay. And this layer has no water vapor and dust particles. As we know that troposphere has water and dust particles and all the particulate matter, small dust particles also are there, but in stratosphere no dust particles are there. Okay. And no water vapor are there, and air turbulence and clouds are absent. Okay, I think you can see here, there are no clouds mostly. I think you all can all can see that there are no more clouds. And due to the absence of weather disturbances, this layer is considered ideal for flying jet aircraft. And why this absence of weather disturbances there? This is because no clouds are taking place, no rainy season, no summer or any kind of season, or no winter season is not there, much is not there. So that is why it is considered as ideal for the flying jet aircraft. And this I think above this layer also, this is also very beneficial. It contains a very beneficial constituent, that is the ozone, that absorbs the ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun. Okay. And if that this is a very good thing, that is the ozone layer is a very good one, because it protects us from that UV radiations coming from the sun. Because that UV radiation, if one molecule even, or if a little radiation of that UV radiation of the sun falls on the earth, then it can cause a lot of harm to human body, can cause cancer, radiation syndrome in human beings, and much more problems to plant, can burn their plant tissues, and they cannot undergo all those photosynthesis and whatever the processes they may carry on for the, and all for the life processes, and all that ecosystem may disturb. So it is a very good layer, that is the ozone layer. I'm not saying that any layer is a particular layer is a good one, but all the layers are good one. Okay. So I think and here the hot air balloons, I think you all have seen, or some might have seen, that hot air balloons rise to a great height, and stratosphere hot air balloons can reach. Okay. And coming back to the topic, that is ozone one. Ozone that absorbs the ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun. So due to this, the temperature rises with increasing height. because it absorbs the radiation, ultraviolet radiation, which contains a more and more heat, and due to this the temperature rises with increasing height. As the height increases, temperature rises. And in troposphere, in contrast, if we are to say that in troposphere, as the increasing height, temperature decreases, and in stratosphere, as the increasing height, the temperature rises. In troposphere, temperature decreases, and in this, temperature rises. And this is a calm and stable layer suitable for flying aircraft. I think this point you all get. And the flow of jet streams are also there, and the region of ozone formation. This is a much important point which you can look to. Then it rises from about minus 80 degrees Celsius at the tropopause to about 0 degrees Celsius in the upper part of the stratosphere. The upper limit of the stratosphere is called the stratopause, and it is about 50 kilometer above the ground. I think you all get this point. That I think you can see here 50 kilometers. This limit has also been marked by the suitor. So this is a suitable one, that the upper limit of the stratosphere is also called as the stratopause, and is above 50 km above the ground. This upper limit has been also marked 50 km stratopause. Okay. I think you all get this point, stratosphere and troposphere. Then another important question which we can come across, or by the exam point of view, which we can get, that what is found in stratosphere. Stratosphere is the infamous ozone layer is found within the stratosphere. Ozone molecules in this layer absorb high energy ultraviolet radiation that I have already told about. UV light from the sun, converting the UV energy into heat. Unlike the troposphere and the stratosphere actually gets warmer than higher you go. I think this point is a good one, and you can um, take a reading of this question from this video. Okay, then I think you all get till here. We have got the stratosphere, troposphere and stratosphere, and I think you can get all this range and what type of things you can see in both. Okay, in troposphere, all the kind of mountains, hilly areas, and it is just above the ground. And in stratosphere, if ideal for aircrafts, no more clouds we can see in this layer. Okay, and more hot air balloons that go to a great height we can see in the stratosphere. Okay, and the troposphere has its upper limit of troposphere is called tropopause, and the stratosphere has its upper limit at 50 kilometer stratopause. Okay, and the temperature, as we go higher in troposphere, temperature falls, and as we go higher in stratosphere, temperature increases due to the presence of ozone that absorbs the UV radiations coming from the sun, that contains a lot more heat. Okay, then next is mesosphere. Okay, and mesosphere is you can say mesosphere is a layer that extends up to 80 kilometer above the surface, and the density of atmosphere here is very low. I think you can see here, density of atmosphere here is very low. As in the case of troposphere, temperature decreases with increasing height in this layer. This is similar one to the troposphere, but here the only difference is that density of atmosphere here is very low. In troposphere, I think it is a very high, it is quite higher. Okay, and density of atmosphere here is very low, and it falls to about, here the temperature falls to about minus 100 degrees Celsius at the mesopause, which is the upper limit of the mesosphere. I think you get that point, that that is why here you can see that meteors are coming. So that is why, due to minus 100 degrees Celsius, such a colder point, so here meteors get burned, and hence this layer protects us from the coming meteors. And here satellites are launched from the earth's surface. Here satellites also means satellites on any kind of machine these days, which are launched by ISRO, DRDO, or any NASA, or any company, means any such scientist, on any scientist. Then here it comes and draws upon, and here it moves in the atmosphere. Okay, in mesosphere they move, so it protects us from the meteor shower, and meteors get burned in this layer. And this is the coolest layer. You can take note that this is the coolest layer of the atmosphere. Okay, and come which is a very important question, that mesosphere is very important for earth's protection. And as you know, all know that mesosphere burns up most meteors and asteroids before they are able to reach the earth's surface. and Mesosphere. Some more characteristics. Coldest layer, I think you got this point, dropping to temperature of minus 90 degrees Celsius. Atmospheric layer above the stratosphere. Okay, I think you got this. Temperature decreases as altitude increase, similar to the troposphere. And upper zone of the mesosphere is the mesopause. I think we have discussed it just now. Okay, so I think here we have discussed till troposphere, stratosphere, and mesosphere, and till mesopause. Okay, now coming to next layer, that is the thermosphere. Thermosphere is generally we see that it is divided into two layers, that is ionosphere and exosphere, which perform their own function, and together they constitute a layer known as thermosphere. Okay, so thermosphere, mostly the international space stations of NASA, ISRO, DRDO means or means NASA, ISRO, any other scientific means center on any other of these means, they used to say that international space station they have created. So here mostly they are located international space stations. Okay, so international space stations. Okay, so here thermosphere extends upwards to altitudes of several hundred kilometers, where temperature ranges from 250 degrees Celsius to high as 1700 degrees Celsius, getting warmer with increasing height. Temperature ranges depend on the degree of solar activity, and as there is more atomic and oxygen like ozone to absorb the heat, so it also absorbs the heat. Okay, all these kind of shuttles, I think you can see here, are located here. This image, thermosphere, the large extended one you can see here, are located here. The temperature changes between the day and night diurnal amount to hundreds of degrees. Above 500 kilometers, temperatures are very difficult to define, and molecules are so widely spaced that they move independently, and there is no reason why the temperature should be the same, because the molecules move independently, and that is why temperature is not the same one. Somewhere it is a colder one, higher one means or the temperature may be warm or cold, means like this we can see the temperature ranges. Because of the formation of the ionosphere also and exosphere also, the temperature ranges takes place. This is the fourth layer. So coming across to ionosphere, this layer means I am reading from my point of view, that is this layer is located above the mesosphere, extends up to 600 kilometer above the surface. This layer derives its name from the electrically charged ions called as ions, and found here, which are found here generally. And ionosphere reflects the sorry ionosphere reflects the radio waves back to the earth, and thereby making radio communication possible. Okay, so I think the third point here you can also see that hottest layer, I think this is the main point. And also due to high ions, H plus H minus, the He minus and plus minus, all these kind of ions that directly absorb the sun's radiation, and that is why it is the hottest layer. Okay, you have studied the coldest layer, mesosphere, and it is the hottest layer, and ionosphere in the thermosphere. Okay, and that is why, and if that is why ions are present, then make solar radiation, leading to an increasing temperature with increasing height. Because it absorbs solar radiation, so increase in temperature with increasing height. Okay, and ionosphere reflects the radio waves back to the earth, and thereby making radio communications possible. Okay, and I am going to read this point along given in this image. The fourth layer of the earth, atmosphere, to about 1000 kilometers, the hottest layer, and the temperature increases with the altitude, and where radio waves are reflected. And this is the summary which we can say about the ionosphere. Contains the ions. Ions become trapped and glowing, causing the northern lights. Temperature is 2000 degrees Celsius. Air molecules are very far apart. Okay, now we have studied troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and now we will study about the exosphere. This is the topmost layer of the Earth's surface. Here the atmosphere is a highly rarefied form, and the atmospheric pressure is extremely low. And that is why here the normal gas laws which we study in physics cease to, or which we study in detail, cease to apply at this height. Exosphere, here there are no normal gas laws applied. The upper limit of exosphere is uncertain because it extends very large, because it extends that after that exosphere space comes, that all that universe space comes, and that is why we cannot define its term, we cannot define its uppermost limit or the last limit that we have defined in the other gases, that is troposphere, tropopause, stratopause, mesopause, or thermopause. We cannot define here that is there is any exopause or not. And the upper limit of exosphere is uncertain as this layer acts as a transitional zone between the Earth's atmosphere and the interplanetary space. I think you all get this point that after exosphere there is a space, and we cannot define where the atmosphere ends with exosphere's last limit. Okay, so we cannot really define it. An exosphere is an atmospheric layer that is farthest from the Earth's surface. So now this is the most summary, this can be a summary for today's part, that is the that is the troposphere, lowermost, stratosphere, mesosphere, coldest, thermosphere, hottest, and exosphere, the last, and which cannot be defined as whose upper limit cannot be defined. Okay, and so coming to the hence ending this video tutorial, and this is the last video of 2020, and I will continue to this topic in 2021. So happy new year and belated merry christmas too. So happy new year to all, 2021, and may this year bring you a very bright smile on your face and good health, and may bless your families and all this whole earth and universe too. Okay, so see you in the next video tutorial in 2021 surely, and we will continue to this topic. Okay, so bye bye everyone, take care, see you, and subscribe to our channel. And if you liked the video, then please hit the like button, and if any problem can comment us, if any recommendation for next video can recommend us in the comment section or the chat section. Thank you so much, happy new year, belated merry christmas, happy new year, stay safe, and happy new year once again. Bye bye everyone.